afternoon. My name is Pradeep, and I'm going to take just 5 minutes today, and all of you are being very great to sit through all these presentations. I'm going to start with a little story, a real incident that one of our clients had. It's a hospital system, most of us have heard their name. They are using AI in their operations, some authorized, some not so authorized. And a clinician uploaded de-identified records of a patient. Name was scrubbed, identity was scrubbed. And then during the medical review, the next day in front of the chief medical officer, the LLM that they were using to analyze cases brought up this patient with all the names restored. It was able to connect all the dots and re-engineer the identity of the patient. It was a big scandal. They banned OpenAI and everything in their clinic, and they basically put a lid on this whole affair. But the exposure was tremendous, and AI is no longer used in their hospital, which is not a great thing because there were a lot of good things being done with it by a lot of researchers and clinicians. So the point I'm making is AI loves data, not just raw data, but what you can infer from it. So if you thought that social media was not your data, that's nothing compared to what AI can do with it. So in the context of using AI, we need to think about how do we separate the data boundary from the AI boundary, and how do we make sure that advertently or inadvertently data does not get fed into AI that can then lead back to re-engineered identity. So we have built in our world, starting with healthcare as a primary focus, and then government, fund disbursement, defense, and all these other industries, we built an AI device. It's an appliance that basically sits as a gateway between your AI infrastructure and your data infrastructure. It enforces the appropriate de-identification, deduplication in a manner that AI can actually consume that data without you putting your organization at risk. Not only that, you can also run your own AI models locally, so you don't have to rely upon any cloud infrastructure, and you can store your data in HIPAA compliant or other security-minded cabinetry, and you can also train your own agents to run against those particular models that you train, so you can protect your IP. So if you're a research organization, if you're a law firm, if you're a government agency who needs to keep the standard operating procedures, you can automate them, improve them, operationalize them using AI as much as you can, or not have them leak into any kind of a larger ecosystem of knowledge, then this kind of an appliance works. The last thing is that this appliance connects with every other appliance of its own nature and creates a virtual network. So government agencies can exchange data with each other without ever touching the cloud. So it's a cloudless AI network designed to give each node a sovereign, unique footprint while leveraging or harnessing the power of the whole network. So that's what i3 is doing. We've seen some very interesting use cases, both in government and outside. And my favorite example is a group of physicians collaborating on what they consider to be an important research area, gut-brain interaction. Their philosophy or their theory was what we eat determines our cognitive health later in our life. And they were able to collect data from a variety of organizations, run blind studies, and build a model that could actually predict as to which patient is going to have what likelihood of Alzheimer's or dementia or just cognitive loss, and reverse that by changing very specifically the biomes of the patient. So they are seeing some significant success in that area in which privacy was truly important. But the point I want to bring back to is we have our legacy data systems, tons of them. For the last 100 years, we've been investing billions and trillions into that asset. And then we have this new emerging tech called AI, which can analyze the data in a very intelligent way. And how do you define what goes from left to right and what goes from right to left? And you need something that's incredibly well thought through in the middle that translates data into consumable queries for the AI engine, and AI to return back answers that you can apply back to your individual case, be the beneficiary, the citizen, or the patient. So that's what i3 is. We didn't get to see the slide deck, but it's a device that sits, it's about 10 inches by 10 inches, packed with GPUs, CPUs, data protocol, deduplication, de-identification, desensitization, and all it really does is enables you to bring AI to your shop in a way that complies with every standard that you want enforced. Please check us out. We're delighted to share more information. And before I leave the stage, I want to thank Gerard, Kathy, and everybody else here at the GBA. I've been honored to be a member of this organization for now, almost since the beginning, and it's really great to see the intersection of public and private sector that GBA represents. And I really thank all of you for supporting GBA by being here, and for all the members of GBA for being here. So thank you very much.